This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain adult language, violence, and sexual themes, as well as shocking revelations. Viewer discretion is advised. Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where tonight my friends and I are playing the old Gods of Appalachia RPG. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The scenario is Best Leave Them Ghosts Alone. It was written by Shanna, Germain, and it's available from montecookgames.com. Our game master is Tyler Hudak, and this is episode 2. Our recap will be given by Joe Bardalis as his character, Zoa Green. But before we begin, I have a new patron for the club. Trevor Lead has pledged $5 a month to our club. Thank you so much, Trevor. That being said, without any further delays, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Joe?
Welcome back, family. It sure is good to see you. Hope you're doing well, and if you're not, well, I hope you're doing well fine and pretty soon. So, you lost saw we were in a heap of trouble that we just managed to barely get out of. But before we got to that point, well, we had a story that started. And it started a long time ago, about 20 years ago, when we were little kids growing up in the town of Dismal, PA. Now, we were the best of friends. My friend Isaac Birch, Floyd Pilkington, and W.E. Raley, and of course, Ira Murphy. We were such good friends that we spent all our time in those old woods on that ancient mountain. We built a fort together around this thing we used to call the Rabbit Rock, and we had the best times there. We'd share all kinds of stories and camp, horror tales, and tell our dreams, and it was like a childhood that would never end. But all the while we were doing that, the woods was touching us, molding us, preparing us for something. And one day, something real horrible happened. Some bolt of lightning came right out of the sky with the worst thunder you ever heard, and it hit the Rabbit Rock right in the middle of our fort, and it shattered it into millions of pieces and reduced it to ash. And there was a huge explosion. And when the smoke cleared and we all got standing around, we saw our friend Ozzy there lying on the ground, and she was dead. Well, we were all terrified, but soon something scarier came. Right out of the tales they used to tell us when we were little kids about this rabbit. Well, there he was, this large rabbit with glowing red eyes, and he came over and he spoke to us, and he said, "This wasn't meant to happen. And he probably shouldn't have let us play in this warren for too long, but he did. And now our friend Ozzy was dead, but he promised us that he had a way to bring her back. But we would have to owe him something one day if he did this for us." Well, without any hesitation, we're little kids. We're like, "Yes, please, we will do this. We will make a promise to help you out if you bring our friend Ozzy back." Well, he did. But there was a condition that one day we would have to go and do something for him. And he'd come a-calling at the time of Ozzy's later natural death. Well, that day came, and me and my friends 20 years later were gathered in our hometown of Dismal, PA. We haven't seen each other many years, grown up now. And we were there to bury our friend Ozzy, who we lost to cancer. It was good seeing everyone again, and we've all led different lives, but we all knew we had to be there. And then after the funeral, when we turned the corner and leaving the graveyard, there was Ozzy. And she was there like she wasn't even gone, and she didn't look sick. And then we saw her and we were like, oh no, we were like, oh, we knew we were seeing some kind of haint or ghost or spirit or something. And she spoke to us, and it was the Ozzy we knew. But she was okay. And she wasn't sure what happened to her either, but we were very glad to see her. It was very strange. I think if it was any other ghost, I would have gone running. Well, then Rabbit came back, and he reminded us that we had no. And he gave us something to do because we had promised. And that was to find someone called the Mander witch. So he told us the Mander witch had disappeared. No one could find her, and she was needed very desperately, and that we would have to travel about 30 miles north to Langley, PA, where she lived in a shack outside in the woods. And he told us it was very important we find her because they're building a dam up there. Part of the plan that President Roosevelt's doing. They're keeping people to work, but they're going to flood the town of Langley, and they're going to put this big dam in. And Rabbit told us that'd be a very bad thing because it would allow a certain ancient evil buried under the mountains for many years to get loose. That we had to stop it by finding the Mander witch because she was the only one who knew how to control the river and speak with the river. And she could put an end to this, make sure that thing never got out. So we agreed, and we decided to head on up to Langley and try to find the Mander witch. Not quite sure if if the Rabbit is a trickster at times, so we weren't sure what side he's on or if he's telling the truth or anything, but we made a promise, and you're only as good as your word, so we had to keep our promise. That promise is to find the Mander witch. Nothing about the dam, stopping it, letting it go through, anything like that, just to find the Mander witch. So we all went on. Before we left Dismal, we went to Mr. Tuttle's store, get some gear to make this journey north. We made like we were going on a hunting trip, so people didn't question some of the things we were buying and stuff. And all the way, we're exploring her new state as a witch or a ghost. Our friend Ira thinks she might just be kind of trapped between life and death. We're not sure, but turns out after trying to talk to the town drunk and Mr. Tuttle that only we can see Ozzy. So we went to the store, Ira and I, to get some supplies while WE and Floyd hung outside for a bit. And as we went in, Ozzy kind of playing with her powers, decided to go back, see what Tuttle was doing at the back store. And then something happened back there. For her, everything went dark. And Mr. Tuttle became possessed by something. And it started to tell her things, that this journey was not meant for us. And it became threatening and attacked her. Well, Ira and I knew something was going on back there. We heard a sound, a scream. We ran back immediately, and then all of a sudden everything stopped. Tuttle was confused all hell. We said, "Oh, I'm sorry." We covered that up as best we could, but Ozzy was clearly shaken by this thing she saw that threatened us and tried to attack her, and said this wasn't meant for us. So we got our stuff and got out of there. And apparently Floyd and WE got in a little situation too while we were in there, where they met. They were approached by one of those railroad men, and we kind of started talking to them and talked to WE into some kind of deal where he would owe them, but he could make sure the railroad got us where we needed. He seemed to know a little bit more about these things too. So once again, another side involved in this. 3 sides at least: the railroad man, the man who's not quite a man, Rabbit, the rabbit who's not quite a rabbit, and this thing Ozzy saw. So WE was able to resist some kind of hoodoo he's trying to put on him, that railroad man. He got his card, carefully took it with the handkerchief, put it away, take a look. It was a black card, nothing on it. But hopefully WE is going to be all right, because he might owe another O to another player in this. Well, anyway, we decided to head out and head on up. Got the train the next morning at 9 a.m., and there it was waiting for us. Door open, ready for all of us to go in. WE had made a bargain to get us on that train, so we went on. Well, you know how these trickster, strange types can be. They didn't quite live up to their bargain. They didn't really slow down. They kind of sped up on our way when we were supposed to be getting off, so we had to make a quick exit. Thank God WE has been living on the rails for a while. They able to help us get all kind of jump, tuck, and roll, getting off that train, and we ended up in the woods. We started walking. Well, got us to the as close to the town as he could, as he promised, but left us in a place. The railroad left us in a place where it's going to take a little longer to walk, and probably most of the day. So we started out on our journey through those woods. think about what my granny used to say about the woods. Best not to walk those woods alone. And I was thinking, you know what? I never walk the woods alone. I have my friends with me. So on we went. And as we're going along, trying to get through that thick old forest, somehow I ended up falling in some open grave. There was a dead man in there, and it looked like his bones had been all scraped by something. And while they helped me out, we noticed that the bones were clutching to the chest. This book, this strange journal type book. So Ozzy picked that up, and when she did, it had some kind of magical writing in it. And there was a seemed to have been written by a gentleman named I can't quite remember his name, but anyway, he wrote this journal, and he started out like a normal one, but then he became afraid of something, some man that was following him only at night, something with chains, something that he felt that if he ever found him, he'd never see another daylight again. As long as he kept that book, because there's some kind of magic on it. Just as we got out of that, all of a sudden, we heard a strange sound, and it was this crazy, wild, furry, white creature with horns like a ram and red eyes. And Ozzy recognized it as the one she saw in back of Mr. Tuttle's store. And this thing attacked us. So we took the powers that the woods had always given us, what we were born to do, and we worked like a well-oiled machine. We were all using our powers. We were all using our powers to take this thing down. I used a witch ball I knew how to make for my granny, and I threw that right at him. It caused that thing to go blind for a bit so my friends could jump on. Floyd was using the power, his abilities with his mind to push this thing, keeping it away from us. So it was pushed into the brambles, and we had W.E. He was going at it with his with his machete. Ira was coming up with some spells, trying to work on things, and summoning a spirit. And Ozzy, she decided to shake the bones. And when she shakes the bones, her fiddle's going really loud, and she is singing, and she was knocking that thing too. And I was able to call my little beast friend, a little bobcat that I'd saved when it was young, that follows me around. And I was able to have my beast cat go after the thing too, along with the spirit that I was summoned. All the things we were doing, we were finally to take that sulfur smelling demon down. But got a little hurt, got a little shaken up. But here we are. We still got to find that Mander witch. So friends, family, we need to return to our journey. But before we go, we just want to remind you another thing my granny used to say: best leave them ghosts alone. Until next time, family.
All right. So you find yourselves near that graveyard of the grave of Elijah Turner, the miner, who Asti, I believe you picked up the journal.
Hmm.
Uh, and and as just a reminder, the journal is a cipher that
Hmm.
can be used to hide from a supernatural entity such as a ghost. What are you all going to do? But previously you had originally planned on, burying the remains of the miner, and then everything with the white thing happened. So, what are you going to do?
Something's been trying to stop us, trying to attack us.
Mm.
Uh, we need to bury the body, but
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's the right thing to do.
We got
we
we
also
got to do
need to
right
get
by him.
on. We also need to get on as quickly
No,
as possible.
maybe we should just rest a little spell, just a few minutes.
Yeah, do like
Go on,
10 minutes or
is
sit
so.
ourselves and see.
anybody seriously injured? That was quite a thing.
Well, I'm a little
Uh,
tired from jumping out of the way of that thing's claws. I could use a little bit of a breather.
Game Master, did that thing's body disappear when it died?
No, it's still there.
Oh,
You had,
Hmm.
damaged it enough. It's bleeding. The white fur is, just kind of covered in its own blood. Um,
I'm
but no,
going
it's
to
still there.
I'm going to walk over and use applied observation to see if I can understand it better or what it is. Or
Sure. Say that is probably just a standard difficulty of 2, so you'd need to roll a 6 or higher, unless you are going to reduce the difficulty at all.
well, it's actually a speciality.
Okay, so that would
Special
automatically
ability.
reduce it. Is it? So you're not just trained. It's a special.
Well, it's in my special abilities on here.
Specialized, yeah.
Yeah, it says you observe or study a creature, object, or location for at least one round. The next time
Okay, I get you.
Yeah.
That will cost you. Normally, it would cost you 2 intellect points, but it'll only cost you 1 intellect point because you have an edge in intellect.
Okay.
I think. So you study it, and you're looking at this thing, and it's at first it's like nothing you've seen before. I mean, it looks like a cross between a ram and a dog and a bear and a wolf and a cow, and it smells like rotting eggs. It's just horrible. But then you remember when you were children, you and so actually all of you were chased in the woods by something similar. It could have even been this thing. The smell now is kind of jogging your memory. And somehow you were able to hide from this thing. But you're convinced it was this thing that you've seen before that had hunted you one time in the woods near your fort when you were a child.
This thing's been watching us for a long time. I mean,
I think I'm going to take out my buck knife and I don't know. Because I can craft magic. Who knows? Maybe its teeth or its claws or something have magic. So I'll take some of those things and put them in a pouch.
Sure.
And keep them.
We cut one of those horns off too in that fight when we fighting that devil thing. That's sulfur that we smell. That's associated with hell and demons.
It's from the devil. Yeah.
It's been hunting us all this time, and we never knew, or
Why
at
did-
least we never suspected.
Well, why was it so focused on us? What did it want? Was it just want to eat kids or yeah?
Maybe it was because we were in somehow kind of league with Rabbit.
Well, yeah, that could be.
Maybe he always knew what was going to be happening. Like
He said that he didn't know the future.
Rabbit didn't know the future, but maybe this thing did because I mean, he knew everything about us. He came at Ozzy in Mr. Tull's store and was saying to Ozzy that this wasn't meant for us. This journey wasn't meant for us. And
all right, do you even know what is this thing? Like, do we have a name for it? I mean,
It's just a white thing.
just a white thing.
Let's just call it that. I don't know. It's definitely not natural.
Works just as well.
Yeah.
Well, you tried taking us out one too many times, Mr. White Thing, but you underestimated us a little bit.
like the
Let's
wood.
not get too cocky now.
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, this thing.
You can't be killed, Aussie, but we certainly can.
Yeah,
Find this Mander.
we don't know if these things stay dead either.
Yeah, it's the other thing.
Let me have my moment to gloat, all right?
All right. You get to gloat for a moment.
I've had
At your own risk.
Yeah.
I've had precious little to gloat over the last few years.
No, true enough.
We
after you got
pretty good team, didn't we?
your collections there, should we burn what's left of it? Just to be safe?
I don't know what its relationship to fire is. I don't want to start a fire here out in the woods.
Oh, you're right. Okay. All right.
I
Just
mean,
let it rot.
if we really don't want someone coming across it, we just bury it or something.
It's
but
pretty damn big.
Not by
Yeah,
not by
I mean,
that
I'm willing to
thing
bury
down.
this man here because he was a good man, probably, but I don't want to put in the labor
Let
to bury
nature
this
take
thing.
it.
Yeah,
Let
all right,
nature take it back.
all right. But yeah, let's give Mr. Miller here a
Mr. Turner.
Turner.
Yeah.
Miller. Where was I getting Miller? Anyway, let's give Mr. Turner here a proper burial. It's only right.
All right.
So with Ira butchering up the thing and
Little bits.
the bones of Elijah Turner being buried, and you all resting a little bit, you kind of feel that it's time to move on. You know, you're under a little bit of a time crunch,
Yep.
and so you continue off north through the woods, and it actually doesn't take you very long to start hearing water, kind of smelling the moisture in the air. And before you know it, you emerge onto the banks of the river. You actually, the bank of the river is maybe like 5 or 10 feet from the woods. So you're very close, and you notice a couple of things. The first thing is, you must have been, lucky, guided, whatever you want to call it, because looking across the river, and it seems like it's across the widest part of the river, of course, is a shack that you're pretty sure is the Mander witch's house. However, the river is not calm. The river itself is very rough. It is roiling, moving up against there are these very large waves that you would not expect to be in a river. If you didn't know any better, you would say that perhaps the river is angry. And as you emerge from the woods and take those first steps kind of onto this grassy bank of the river, the grassy bank of the river, the water itself starts to almost boil in front of you. And before you can react, the water starts to encircle the land around you, giving you, maybe about 10 feet to either side. It just washes away the land, trapping you in this, kind of like circle of land. And on the wind, you can hear a voice saying, "We will destroy you for taking away our protector," as the water starts to roil and boil and get closer and closer to you.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
Excuse me? We've actually, I don't think she's missing then, isn't she?
Yes, the voice comes over the wind again. Yes, our protector, the Mander Witch. You have taken her. You will be punished.
No,
we
no,
haven't. No. We've been sent here to help.
Yeah. You got
We're here
the
to
wrong
find
people.
her.
By Rabbit has sent us to help find the Mander Witch.
But apparently it's a little more complicated than we thought.
It's as soon as you say rabbit, it starts to slow down a little bit, but I think somebody is going to need to, try to convince it. In fact, you know what? I don't know where my dice are. Aussie, as you're saying that, we're going to do a GM intrusion. The water leaps up almost like this tidal wave and seems to grab you and pull you into the water. Since this is a GM intrusion, you can refuse it by spending 1 XP, or you
I had to blow the XP during the battle with the white thing, so
you get 1 XP, and you get to give 1 XP to somebody else.
I think because since we're definitely dealing with something seriously magical here, We're gonna need to give it to somebody who might know something about this. Ira, help!
And you all see this water just
Yeah.
crash over Aussie, start pulling her underwater, and the last thing you hear from her as she starts to get pulled underwater is, "Ira, help!" What are you all gonna do?
Dive in after her, of course. What else
I'm
can
going
we
to
do?
try to grab her before she goes into
Yeah.
the water. Of course, she can't drown.
Yeah, she's already dead, dummy.
Yeah, but she can be dragged
Um,
away from us. We got to save her.
I'll
Uh,
be like, please, please listen to us. We are on your side. We are here to stop the dam. We're here to stop the changing of the river. We want to bring back the Mander witch.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
and we can't do that if you drown us. Even though I'm already dead.
The bubbles kind of, coming up as Ozzy says that. So Ira, you're the one who seems to be, trying to persuade it. It's going to be a level 4 roll for in this case, I think it's going to be a intellect roll, which means you need with a level 4 or task difficulty of 4 that is 12 or above, unless you can reduce it.
GM, did we get with our little rest? Did we get a D6 plus 1 back of our attributes?
If you would like to spend your recovery roll, you may.
Okay, so might help because we spent a lot in that fight. I know
Right.
that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to remind me. So I've got one edge. Can I spend that
So-
to reduce it?
So remember I want to make sure that I'm using the right terms here. The edge just means that whatever you spend from your intellect pool is reduced by 1. So the ways that, it's just a reminder, the ways that you can reduce difficulty is you can spend points from the appropriate pool. The first time you spend that it's going to cost you 3 points, and that will reduce it by 1. If you have a skill that is appropriate, you can reduce it as well. You can do that twice. And then if you have what's considered an asset, so like a piece of equipment or a cipher or something similar, you can also utilize those to reduce the difficulty.
And can you use experience points for anything?
Yes, thank you. You can also no, I'm sorry. You can use experience points, 1 experience point to reroll.
To reroll. Okay. Well, I will spend the intellect pool
Okay.
to reduce it by 1. So now it's
So
at 9.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and try that.
Do you have any skills that's
No, my skills are mostly poison and magic, and sleight of hand, but none of that really applies here.
okay?
All right. And I got a 6.
Hold on 1 second. I need to look at one thing just to make sure that I feel like there's one other thing that can happen. I'll let you reroll as well. You know what? I'm not going to spend the time to look through this and find it. Let's also say that if somebody else wants to assist, they if they can justify it or spend the points, one other person can help and reduce it by 1 difficulty as well. So, like WE, you were also pleading with the river. If you would like to spend something from your intellect pool, you may as well.
No problem. I'm more than willing to blatherskite whatever is required. So I have to blow 3 points because I don't have any reduction. All right, so we'll give you another bump down there, Ira.
So that would actually reduce the difficulty target to 6. So you would make that roll.
And I want to go above.
Yes, equal to or above.
Equal or higher.
Okay, well, I got 20.
Oh,
my
actually,
God,
so
wow.
that's really great. So that also does a major effect. So what that means is you get to choose like something that happens. They call it a major effect, so it's not something insignificant.
Well, perhaps my actions show whatever the spirits or the familiars that are in the air that I am on their side and they will help rather than hinder us at this point.
Okay. I
If we
think
need
that's
their
fair.
help.
So as you and WE are, pleading, uh, you're able to grab onto Ozzy, pull her onto the shore, and the water immediately begins to recede, and you hear this voice come over the wind again, and say, "You do appear to be wanting to help our friend the Mander, especially if you were sent by Rabbit Rabbit. Let me help you as well." And as it says that, the water itself calms to almost glass, and a small path parts through the water across the river to the other side where the Mander Witch's shed or shack is.
We
Much
thank you,
obliged.
spirits. We thank you.
Ira, you're just like Moses.
Let
Look at
All
that.
right.
my people go.
Yeah.
I mean, you did free me from certain death just now.
Yeah.
Or
You are
certain,
dead already.
Yeah.
Well,
You need to
I
wring
guess,
yourself
yeah,
out a
but
bit, though. You're
I don't
looking
know.
kind of soggy right now there, Aussie.
semantics. But let's
Bring
keep,
it.
let's keep moving then.
All right.
All right.
Oh, spirits, we don't know your name. What should we call you?
The only response you hear is, "I am the river."
Ah, the river. Excellent. Thank you, River. Thank you very much.
Thank you, River. We're here to help. We
So
should probably
you,
check out this shed, this
Yeah.
shack she lived in. See if there's any clues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody will tell us.
yeah. So you make your way across the river, over to the shack. The shack is set back, uh, you know, it's close to the river, but far enough back so that if the river floods, that the shack isn't going to flood. But the closer you get to it, the more you see that something definitely happened here. The door to the shack is not just busted off, it's as if something that was far too wide and tall to go through the doorway walked through it. So it is completely almost obliterated around where the door is. Looking inside, you can see, I assume you're still standing on the outside, but you can see inside that the interior is a complete mess. It looks as if some type of struggle occurred.
There doesn't happen to be a horn-shaped rough sort of cut through the doorway like it was the white thing that busted through there.
No.
No, okay, just checking.
Something else.
No, something else took her.
Oh my God, how many of these things are there?
Oh,
Well, something that don't want this damn interrupted. I'm gonna approach the shack and kind of like carefully pick my way inside to sort of try and see like if there's anything that was left over from the struggle, or like some sort of, I don't know, maybe she kept a diary where she was complaining about some agent of the building company or the government or something. I don't know.
Sure. Okay. So this is going to be a difficulty 3 perception task. So, how would you, if anyway, how would you like to reduce the difficulty there? So difficulty 3 is a target number of 9 or above.
9, right? Well, most it if I was specifically looking for magic, I could definitely bump that down a level because I'm at least specialized in that. But
Well, this is the Mander Witch's house. It is.
this is very true.
So I would say I would allow that. So that would
All right,
definitely count. So
all right, and since understanding magic is I'm specialized in that, that knocks it down 2.
okay. So that would be a difficulty level 1, so target number 3 or above, unless you can reduce it once more, and then it automatically succeeds.
I mean,
You can always spend intellect pool points.
I don't think I want to blow those right away,
Okay. All right.
but we'll see. And I roll a 2. Of course I do. All right. What is it? I'll blow the XP and do this again because I should not have failed that. Thank you, GM intrusion. Much better.
All right. So you looking inside, you can and everybody who's around you can definitely see that there was some signs of a struggle. There are shelves and bottles that are just smashed. There's a table turned over, chairs that have flown, dishes and so on, just all over the place. Asi, you see several things as well. You also see that it looks like there are whip marks across some of the furniture, the wall, and the floor. And because you are, more attuned to magic, you actually get drawn to 3 different things within the house or the shack. One is a carved stick. It's a oak. It's actually a like a charm of a carved stick. It's oak and it's raw. It's on a red thread. You find a card kind of about the size of a playing card that has a picture of a moth on it, and then also a handmade chicken feather brush with a maple handle. Each of these feels magical to you.
Well, she left some stuff behind. Must not have had time to use them.
The rest of you, see Aussie go in. You see the same thing. After, studying the place for a little bit, you also see the whip marks.
Hmm.
I
Well,
want to take.
the place don't smell of death, does it?
No,
I don't think she lost her life here then, or we'd
no.
smell what's left of her.
Yeah, no, you don't get
They've
that
captured
feeling.
her.
I
Yeah.
would like to, with my rangery, tracky ability type things, I would like to see if I can look outside with the thing left. See if I can find a direction that it went.
Sure.
We're off.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. That's also going to be a level 3 task.
Okay, so I think I can. So that would be intellect, right?
Uh,
Or would it be? Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, you can if so. The way it kind of works is if I don't say what one it is, if you can justify how you're which one of the 3 pools you can pull from, then
Mhm.
you can do it.
I think I would. I don't have an edge in that. I don't think it's a might thing. I think I would have to go with intellect, even though I don't have
Okay.
an edge. I think I can take it down from 3 to 2 just with my, my wilderness explorer type abilities and tracking and knowing how to follow tracks and things. And that would take it down to 2, so that'd be a 6 or higher. And I don't know if I want to, since I don't, well, I have an edge. I guess I could spend 3 in my intellect. Yeah, I could take my intellect down to 9 and take it down to 2. So I'd need a 6 or above. I'm gonna try
So
that.
so actually, with you have a special ability called Find the Way,
Oh my God.
where when you apply effort to a navigation task because you don't know the way, which is the
Okay.
thing here, you apply a free level of effort. So you could actually reduce it by 2 because you get to apply a free level of effort.
So I can
So
get
I
it
would
down.
actually, if you do that, if you still, so you could do one of 2 things. You can either just apply the free level of effort and reduce the difficulty by 1, or you could spend 3 points and reduce the difficulty by 2 levels.
And that would bring me down to 1 or
Right. So you would only need to spend a 3 or higher,
um
or get a 3 or higher.
yeah, I'm gonna spend that
All right.
yeah, I'm gonna spend. Yeah, so that'll take me down my intellect to 9. So all right, let's roll that d20 and see what I get. Just need 3 or above. And I got a 7. Lucky 7.
Awesome. That's enough. So looking around the outside of the shack, you find it's kind of hidden in the grass, but you're able to find a trail. If to you it's pretty obvious, to somebody else it would probably be hidden. But you see a track leading away from the shack into the woods on this side of the river, kind of heading further north, and you can see some mountains in the distance where it seems to be heading towards. The tracks themselves, the trail itself, something very heavy and large walked along here, and you can even find some very large, heavy-booted footprints leading away from the shed.
Like larger than the largest man's boot-sized prints I would have ever seen, or
It's pretty big, yeah.
well, I'm gonna let them know that I got a trail we can follow. If
right.
they once they've got out of the getting the things out of the shack that they need to get for
Right.
their pet hoodoo things.
So I come out carrying the stick charm, the chicken brush, and the playing card with the moth. And I'm like, she left these behind. I don't know what they do, but they're magical.
Yeah, but I don't think she left. I think she
No,
was captured.
Obviously, but they might be helpful, is what I'm saying. But I couldn't tell you what they do, but there's something magical about them.
So if you wanted to figure out, or if anybody wanted to figure out, it would be an understanding magic roll, difficulty 2.
And since I'm specialized in that,
That would knock it to 0, so it's an automatic success.
Nice.
So after a minute of studying these Ozzy, you realize that the charm, the little stick, that you would wear it around your neck, and when the next time you're attacked, it would protect you from damage and actually potentially inflict that damage back onto the attacker. The card with the moth on it, you could bend it and then have the moth basically like manually fly to you and anybody around you, and you would all gain +3 armor to magic for 1 hour, or against magic for 1 hour. And then the brush, if you brush the feathers across an object, whatever, type of object, like a building, cipher, weapon, whatever, while asking permission to know it, you would learn 2 important and useful details about that object. Now, these are ciphers, and you have a cipher limit, if I remember correctly, of 3. So you can only keep 2 of them. You can keep more than, you can go above your cipher limit, but bad things start to happen then.
right? And actually,
I
my
got a cipher spot now.
yeah, my cipher limit's actually 2.
So yeah.
Yeah, mine's 2 and
mine
I'm full.
Mine is 3 and I've used 1. So
So you got space.
I can
And
take
Zoa
one
used
of them.
1 as well.
Mine is 2 and I used 1.
So I can also use 1, but so I mean, who wants them?
Well, I don't know. How do you want to split them up?
Well, I
I
got
remember they're not ours, they're hers when we give them back to her at the end.
she might want those back.
Who's the most
Yeah, but
vulnerable?
we're going to be easing them an 8 again in your back, so I don't think she's going to mind none if we borrow them.
Probably not.
Well, I mean, Ira, why don't you take the chicken brush, because that helps you learn stuff, and that's what you're good
All right.
at.
That's
I
good.
got it. I'll take the
And
chicken.
then Zoe, why don't you take the armor thing, because
You know
you're
what?
savvy enough to kind of like know when to use it for our sake. And also
All
you
right.
take the protection from damage once, because things seem to want to attack you a lot. I have noticed that.
Yeah.
You know what? I
You
agree.
do draw a lot of
Plus,
fire there for a dead person.
and being able to bounce and attack back, that might be nice.
That might be nice.
Mm.
All right.
Well, let's not forget too that can anything really hurt Aussie?
Yes, yes. I remember me running into a tree. I most certainly can be injured.
Well, then can you die when you're already dead? Or I don't know
Well,
how
I
that part of the magic's going to work,
I
but
don't know, and I don't want to. I don't have much hankering to find out.
Yeah, that's not one we want to test. That's not like, can you see me, drunk man? We can't. We don't want to do that with
no.
try to figure out that get that answered the hard way. But
Right. All right, so Zoa has found the trail leading off. You all spend a little bit longer looking um, in the shack. You don't find anything else. Like I said, it has really been kind of ransacked and just destroyed by whatever
Mm-hmm.
type of uh, shuffle had happened in here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not liking this one bit, and we're running low on time. If this thing took her, I don't even want to know what it's doing with her. So
yeah,
what do you
well,
say? What do you say, boys? We hit the road?
time to hit the
keep going.
road. They
All
are the
right.
shadows.
So you're gonna start following the trail. Is that where you're going?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the trail leads you along the river for a little bit, and as you're actually going along the river, the river actually as you walk along it, that area of the river stays calm, almost as if the river is kind of following along with you. But after a little bit, Zoa, the trail leads into the woods away from the river. And you all start traveling through it. The woods themselves are fairly dark, but easy to navigate through. Um, Ira, the mushrooms that you had found before, the tawny brown mushrooms that you knew to be the deadly webcap mushrooms are kind of like all over the place in this woods. Not like it's not like covered in them, but you'll be walking along and you'll see a patch over here, and then you'll be walking along and you'll see a patch to the side, and so on. But after about 20 minutes, the path kind of ends in the woods and opens up next to the mountain. And in front of you is an adit, which is a horizontal entrance to the mine. It's basically the entrance to the mine shaft. The area itself around it is you see some mining equipment, the like carts and piles of rock and so on, but it looks like this has not been used for a very long time.
Does the
Well,
trail lead up to the mine shaft entrance?
Zoe, as you're kind of looking at it, and actually, once you all get here, it's dirty. There's a lot of dirt. You can all see these heavy boot prints that absolutely lead up into the mine shaft.
like this thing's hanging out. Like this got its hideout here in this old abandoned mine shaft. Well,
Is
I
there an
mean,
elevator type thing to get down into it, or is it a rope, or how do we get into the thing?
some rails with one of them little carts. We got to pump.
Yeah, it's fairly flat to get in it. You can see where you can only see like maybe 15, 20 feet into it, and then it becomes pitch black, but it doesn't look like there's like a drop or anything. It's a fairly there's a slope down, but it's not very steep at all.
I have a question for the GM. As we've been walking and I've been thinking about it, you kept telling us that there were whip marks all over inside the Mander Witch's place.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, that's got to seem a little out of place because a whip's not going to dig into anything except maybe human flesh.
Right.
But you're like telling us that there were marks where something was like a chain or
Lame, maybe?
whatever took her has a pretty awful weapon. It's got to
Was
be
it?
some sort of chain flail or something that would dig into the wood,
Oh
leave
yeah.
terrible
Hey,
marks.
Ozzy, that journal you found with the cords, didn't that Elijah Turner say something about that being followed by something with chains and something with whips or
Dragon
something?
chains, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he
Appears
did
at
mention
night.
that. This could very, and Elijah Turner was a miner. This
Yeah.
could very
Yeah.
easily be
He
his
said it was a
monster.
large man in red and yellow leather and came out at moonrise dragging chains.
A large man. These are huge boot prints.
Yeah.
I wonder if
What
this has got to be one and the
oh,
same.
is it late yet? What time is it?
It's late afternoon.
Okay, so it's not
The- the-
Comes out
moonrise
at
yet.
night.
No, the sun has, started to go down in the sky, but you probably have a good, 2 hours at least of sunlight.
And
Um,
and if
And
and if Elijah's journal can be used to hide from this thing,
yeah,
Mm,
and Rabbit told us there's things underground that they don't want to be released. Or at least that's kind of the way I interpreted what he
yeah.
said. What if what if this is all caused because the miners released something?
Yeah. And that's why it was following that miner fella, like when he first got out. Oh my.
could very well be. And they don't want the dam to be interrupted in construction because, well, maybe there's something else.
Well, if the dam gets made, the mine will get flooded, right? So water will just pour throughout the whole thing. Is that going to help him?
Well, no. The rabbit wants the dam gone.
Did not
Yeah,
happen.
doesn't want to get flooded, not
No.
obviously, but the thing from below wants it to get flooded. Is that what it wants?
What Rabbit told you that if the dam gets built, it will release something, an ancient and powerful thing onto the world. He did
Yeah.
not go any further than that.
Because I bet you it's because the river is keeping the thing imprisoned.
Mhm.
And we need the Mander witch for the river
Mhm.
to keep it flowing the way it is, because the dam is going to change the river.
Yeah.
So
And
as you are all here talking and pontificating about everything, Floyd, we're gonna do a GM intrusion. Um, I'm not gonna tell you what it is yet. But again, you can spend 1 XP to avoid it, or you can take the GM intrusion and get an XP and give an XP to somebody else.
Well, I spent all my XP in the battle against the white thing, so I have
All
to
right.
take it.
Yeah.
All right, so you get 1 XP, and somebody else gets another XP. Who would you like to give it to?
Oh, let's give that to my old train buddy. W.
All right. All right. So as you are all, is kind of standing here, you're out of the woods. You're a couple feet into the mine yard, essentially, maybe like 10 feet or so away from the mine shaft. You all hear this wail and moan start emanating from the mine, and Boyd, before you can react, you turn around looking at the mine, and this ghost of a man starts charging out faster than you can react, slams into you, and you kind of go flying back a foot or two, landing on your back. You lose 1 from your might pool. And the man, you all see it, clear as day. He's wearing like a miner's outfit, what you would expect a miner to wear, the traditional garb, and so on. But he looks very ragged, run down. He's got rips across his ghostly shirt. And after he plows into Floyd and Floyd goes flying, he says, "Who has said my name?" You also all notice that he has chains wrapped around his ghostly chains that are wrapped around his chest that lead back into the mine.
Elijah Turner?
How do you know my name? Who are you?
We found your
Ghost of
body.
Elijah Turner. Yeah.
I stepped forward. We found your body.
You did. Were you
Animals.
sent by him?
I shake my head.
You
No.
were him.
Animals had gotten to it, we think.
We are not sent for you, but we tried to help you.
Help me
Who
how?
is him? We
Um,
reburied your body, said some prayers over it.
I don't remember your bones being this big, Elijah.
He's definitely not the size of what the boot prints that you saw
Right.
were.
Okay.
He's normal man sized. His when you say that his that you buried him or reburied him, prayed over him, his expression softens a little bit, and he says, I felt that. I felt the weight lifted a little. So you are not with him.
Who is
No.
Why are you
him?
here?
I think he might have taken someone we're here to find.
Did that.
He is a man who is not a man, has not been one for a while.
You got a
You
lot of those around here.
you are right. He brought someone here, a woman who is
Woman.
bound in the mine. As he starts to say this, you can see almost like his pain, or I'm sorry, his face become racked with pain, almost as if he's trying to fight off some type of urge, and says, I'm supposed to tell him when others come, but I feel you helped me. I shouldn't. And he kind of like falls to his knees in pain.
Elijah,
What?
hold on. We can help you again.
Yeah, how
Gotta
can we
take care of
free
this.
you?
You got
What are the chains that are holding him like? Is it something
They're
we can
they're
cut
basically
through?
like ghostly metallic chains. Even if you were to like try to touch them, your hands go right through them.
Oh.
E- even mine.
Yes, even yours.
I I give like a really, really. I'm already dead. I should be able to touch this stuff.
Maybe you're not all entirely a ghost yet because of Rabbit's deal.
That's true. Anyway, all right.
Well, this chain goes back into the mine, you say, though, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's how he keeps us here. How we act as guards, as alarms let him know when others come. But I, why are you here?
well,
We
here to
gotta-
free-
We're here to. Well, we were initially here to free that woman, but it seems like there's a lot more people here that need help.
Well, if we follow the chains back, maybe we can free them from where they're tied in.
That's what I was thinking.
He says, "No, you are not strong enough. The only way to free me is to defeat him,
All right.
Well,
and you cannot do that without her help for sure."
Can you show us where she is?
He says, "I cannot go into the mine, and you will find her. There are no paths from the mine. It's a straight shot." But and his face starts getting racked with pain. There is another ghost miner guard in there. When he sees you, he will alert immediately. I can only delay for so long before I must
well,
alert him.
easy, easy. I'm like, and that's why I say you're giving us a little hand too. I pull out the journal and wink.
And his eyes go wide. My journal, you've got it. Yes, that might help. If you can use that to hide from the other and delay, but please hurry. I cannot
Yeah.
hold off forever. And he
Oh.
kind of falls, prostrate on the ground,
Yeah.
just
Let's.
Yeah.
All right
I
then.
promise you, Elijah, we're going to put your soul to rest. I promise
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, is that going to work on multiple people or just on you?
I
it
figure
it will work on. It's kind of like an area effect, essentially.
We just
so
have to stay close.
stick close, and as long as I'm reading
Yeah.
from it, we're invisible.
Yeah.
All right. So you're all gonna go into the mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So as you go through, there you see the chain as you go in. The chain just seems to just continue through the mine shaft itself. There, you don't see it like tied off on anywhere. And again, if any of you were to try to touch it, it's a ghostly chain. You cannot seem to affect it. Those of you who are sensitive to magic, you can feel that this is definitely some type of binding spell that is very powerful and is holding Elijah to this and compelling him to, act as that guard of which he described. You start walking through the mine shaft, and the mine shaft is fairly dark. What are you doing to kind of light the way?
We bought lanterns, didn't we?
you.
I believe you did actually. Yeah.
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 All right. So who's carrying the lantern? I guess how many do you have, and who's carrying them?
Well, I have
I'll
one.
carry one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got the book, so I can't carry one, even if I had one.
Okay. So it sounds like Zoa and WER.
Yeah.
Asi, you said you have the book. Are you going in front then, or?
Actually, I was thinking since it's an area of effect thing that we might want to do like um, if the shaft's wide enough to do kind of I'm not sure what you'd call it, a marching formation where like I'm in the middle, but like everyone else is kind of clustered around me.
Okay. So you start walking through the mine. The mine itself, like I said, it's fairly dark, but you've got two lanterns, so that lights it pretty well. It's wide enough that if needed, two people could stand side by side comfortably. Three would be kind of difficult, but possible. And it's probably about maybe 10 feet, 8 to 10 feet tall, depending on where you are within the mine. It's the floors though are very rocky and jagged, and there's like dips and hollows as you go through it. So you do have to go a little bit slowly. But after you walk through for about 5 minutes or so, you all see this like ambient light up ahead, this like silvery bluish ambient light. And the shaft itself turns a little bit, and you can see kind of in front of you, about 10 feet, is another ghostly miner. Chains wrapped around them, just like Elijah.
Right. And so then open the book, and I'm reading it, I'm reading it as quietly as I possibly can to still activate the effect so that Mr. Ghosty can't hear me.
Okay. So you start doing that, and the pages themselves start to shimmer, and the light from the book, it was always glowing, just very, very faintly. It starts to glow a little bit brighter, engulfing all of you, since you're kind of in that area around Ozzy. As that's doing that, what do you want to continue forward, or?
Because we need to do this to get past him.
Yeah.
That's the theory.
Yep. If we're covered, we should move forward.
Okay. Is anybody going to do anything as you're moving by?
I have this my other cipher is it's this Specificity. Specificity. I can't pronounce that.
Pacificity,
ACIFIDITY.
peacefulness.
Yep.
It's a bag that if I put it on, it's going to give me +1 armor for the next day. It's filled with potato, garlic, sawdust, and salt.
Yum.
Yeah, I just if I put this garlic thing on, I hope that ghost don't smell me because I
Oh
know
my
he can't
God.
see me.
Well, I'll
Oh,
smell you.
Oh, I'm sure you
I'll
smell
smell you
it.
till next week if you wear
I'm
that.
sure you. I'm sure
I
you'll
have
smell a
smelled your
treat.
feet when your boots come off, and that ain't very pleasant either.
Well,
So
I
you
know.
you also know that when you put that on, any foes that are game terms immediate range, which is 5 feet or so around you, will take damage as well. So that could negate
Ooh.
the
Yeah, because
journal,
he would
and
notice that he was
Oh,
getting hurt.
you could
We
hurt.
should wait.
All right. Well, you
you
know
could
what?
still
I'm
try.
gonna hold
I'm
on
just
to it then.
okay. I'm just
If I
letting you
look
know.
at
All right, so you all start to move forward.
yeah.
As you get closer, the ones in front, I think you're probably a little trepidatious moving forward, but you get to where the miner is, and he doesn't seem to notice you. The first two pass, then Asi, you are going forward past the miner. It seems oblivious. The last two, you, first two, yeah, last two, you get past it, the ghost, and as far as you can tell, it did not seem to notice you. Once you get about 10 feet or so down the shaft, the pages in the journal just kind of the light just kind of winks out. But you have gotten far enough down that you think that you are far enough away from the ghost.
Let's keep our voices down for a bit. Okay.
Good
All right.
idea.
I assume you're gonna keep going down.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So you travel, and again, there are no like tunnels off the mine shaft. It's basically a straight shot. You are going down. There is a slight slope going down. You figure that, maybe you've walked about a quarter of a mile so far and probably gone down 100 or so feet into the ground. But you after about another 5 minutes, you come to a place where it seems like something hollowed this area out a little bit more because it's a little bit wider. It's more of like a room. It's a little bit taller. There's an oil lantern sitting on the far wall of the room you kind of get into. It actually feels like there are no other like branching shafts from here. This is kind of where it ends. The oil lantern is casting a light, shadows through the room, but in the middle of the room, sitting on the ground, is a woman. She looks like, she would be in her mid to late 30s. And she's wrapped in this, what looks like an old decaying blanket or piece of leather. It's like this dirty yellowish color to it.
Excuse me, are you the Mander witch?
She looks up a little shocked to see all five of you standing there. And she looks confused. But then she seems to have some sort of recognition go across her face. And she says, I remember you, all of you, from when you were young. And Asi, she looks at you and says, you're the one who died and lived again. I understand.
Our
Rabbit has sent you all to pay your owe. He
Yes,
always
he
was
did.
the cleverest among us.
yeah, our mutual friend has certainly sent us to help, but we're
We're
gonna
here
be
to
able to,
rescue.
we're here to rescue you, but we also want to free these poor people that are trapped by whatever that thing is.
Oh, so you
The ghosts.
The
Yeah.
yeah, that will be done in time with if you know the the one who brought me here. He is the one controlling them. He has bound them to this mine. The only way, well, the easiest way would be to defeat him, but he is very powerful.
Yeah,
You're
we were told we'd need you.
Well, we heard he comes only out at night, and we still got like maybe an hour and a half left of daylight, and we're hoping to get you out of here. We got some
Yeah, can
mag.
we just go? We
The,
found
Nah.
you.
She says, I have been bound here. I cannot leave unless we do something to break this binding. I do know a ritual that we can cast to break the binding, but I will need your help to do so. I can teach it to you and we'll need some items, but I will need your help.
all right.
What do you
Let's break
need?
the other ghost's bindings as well.
I mean,
Says
we might be able to do
maybe.
that. We might maybe, but at the moment we have to free her before we can do anything.
What do
And
we need?
also, yeah.
She says, well, in order to do this, we will need three things. A conjure deck, and she actually pulls one out and says, I have this that we can use. Who has the card that you found in the
No,
I do.
Zoe? You recognize the cards. Look like maybe they're the card that you have is maybe from the same set. But she pulls out this deck and says, we can use this to enact the ritual, but we'll also need some mushrooms, some deadly mushrooms, as well as a shared memory.
I found some, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah, you
You
did.
and you
Oh,
did
yeah.
collect them.
We
Yep.
got
Unprompted, by the way.
Let's see, some Amanita phaliodes. We got some Amanita.
Oh my God, you know the
Ma'am.
names and everything.
Man,
What
for
the
that
heck?
for that conjure deck to work,
I
And-
you need all the
specialize in
cards,
poisons,
right?
my friend.
Oh my gosh, but you learn the names even. That's so much.
And then I grin and I'm like, and as for shared memories, we have a lifetime of those.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She says, well,
We just sent a demon back to hell together.
the ghosts? You defeated
No,
the
No,
ghosts
the-
to get here?
no,
The
the
white thing, whatever the hell it was.
the ram
That
dog
rammy
thing.
Ram
Oh.
dog
Horned and
bear
big and-
wolf thing.
I know
Something's
Not
been
a
beat the
trying to
man
keep
dog
us
tarnation
bear
out of
away.
wolf
it.
thing.
I know of what you speak.
Yeah.
But how did you get past the ghosts? The guards?
I used a journal from the grave of one of the ghosts who's bound
Elijah
here
Turner.
against his will.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I don't think I can use it again.
So you were able to get past one, but not both.
Well,
But Elijah Turner was fine. We helped
Elijah-
him out. by
Elijah
burying
let
it.
us pass.
Yes, but he is still compelled to contact Sciarn. So he will be here soon. We must work
We
fast.
Go now.
Yep.
We have to take one of your ghosts down, maybe. Ma'am, I was wondering, like, if this conjure deck of yours, it's got to have all the cards in it for it to work, right?
It doesn't, but unfortunately, I left one card back at my shack. It would be easier for the ritual if we had all four cards, but it's not necessary.
I happen to have it right here, ma'am.
Oh, and she
It's
kind of
gonna help us
smiles.
more.
And I mean, are you giving it to her?
I'm going to give it to her.
Okay.
I think, I know might have been a good thing, but if it makes her get out, it makes it easier for her to get out of here.
Okay.
I think she might have a few things up her sleeve too that might be able to help us once we get her free.
So yeah, she gladly takes it and thanks you. She says we have the deck, the mushrooms. Ira, are you pulling out the mushrooms that you had?
Yes. Yeah.
She looks at them and again smiles. These are exactly what we need. The last thing is a shared memory, but I must warn you, the memory must be important and shared by multiple people. The more the older the memory is, the more powerful the ritual will be. But
Oh,
understand, you will not get this memory back. It will be lost to you forever.
No. No.
That is a large ask of me.
That now, and if I give you a memory that I think we all know that goes way back almost to the beginning of all this, does that mean because this memory will be central to everything that's happened since? Will that mean we'll lose all that too?
Or just the one?
No,
yeah.
you will just lose that memory.
Yeah. 'Cause we
It,
don't want to lose our motivation to be here if we forget everything. That'd be
I was
crazy.
thinking the moment that we finally put that last piece of wood on the fort, we built it, and we're all so proud.
How
Oh,
about
that's a
that
good one.
summer where we all got up the nerve to go skinny dipping?
Oh, I
I
could
was.
And
almost forget that and enjoy not knowing that
Oh
one.
That might be a
no!
good one to
I
forget.
don't know,
I,
You're
man.
right
That's a
there,
good one to
Herb.
get rid of.
Actually, the one I was thinking, the one where I found the clearing, showed it to all y'all.
yeah, but we
When
don't want to
when
forget that. Jesus.
Well, then that's a good one to lose, then, unfortunately.
You know, we're gonna forget everything. Forget the clearing. It's where the everything happened that got us to this point.
we wouldn't forget
Well,
the concept. We just forget that the day I found it.
well, let's remember what our O is. It's to let to find the Mander women and get to rescue and find this man to the Mander woman so she can do her thing. And if we forget everything, well, she ain't gonna forget. She'll be
I
able to
don't
take
think
care of this. I hope.
Zoa,
I
Zoa,
I
it's
don't think
it
we're gonna forget everything. We're just gonna
no,
forget the one thought.
Yeah,
just that one moment, all those years back.
yeah,
And it's not like
No,
it's not
but
like we don't have others.
yeah. We'll
but
remember
the
everything
joy
after
that
that. It'll just be
the
kind of
joy
like
we felt that we still know right now.
we got all the other memories
Um,
associated with it.
It's true. That's true. I'm willing to risk it. That was a beautiful memory. Just thinking about it now. So, but if we have to do it to set things right, well, then so be it.
she says, so this memory, you all share this?
Yep,
Yes.
we're all
It
So,
here.
was it was the it was the it was that summer, 20 years back. I was 12. I just found that clearing and just couldn't help but think, this this should be the place where so many memories are made. And of course, there was the Rabbit Rock, but I don't think I found that one initially. But soon after that, I just went running, found the boys, brought them there. They was my
Yeah,
family.
I remember
and
being invited that day. I
and
remember. Go ahead.
she says, and you understand that you all are in agreement.
Mm,
It won't
We are
work
in agreement.
unless everybody agrees.
I know.
mhm.
We agree.
Great.
But
She then
I got I got 20 more years of memories that I shouldn't have had thanks to y'all. Losing just one, that's fair.
well, with that, she stands up and says, "Well, then let us begin, for we don't have much time."
Mhm.
She takes the cards, all of the cards, since Zoe, you gave them her the one that was missing, and places them face down in a circle around her. She then, Ira, asks you for the mushrooms.
More. Now they're poisonous, so I'm wearing gloves, but
Right. And she actually, yeah, is not wearing gloves and takes them and seems unaffected.
okay.
Um, she starts to basically mash up the mushrooms and asks all of you to stand inside the circle um, of cards, since you all are giving up the memory. And she starts to one by one ask each of you to recite your part of the memory. And as you go around, you know, each of you talk about, the memory is finding the thing. Floyd, go ahead.
Well, yeah, one quick question, GM. While she's preparing all this, can I take out my circle of safety mason jar and put that around the area that we're doing this in and light it up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
What does that do? What does that do again?
I spread the mixture in a circle around an immediate area and light it on fire. The fire burns for 1 hour, creating a nearly impenetrable barrier. Creatures attempting to cross the fire take 5 points of damage and are forced to flee from the circle for 1 round. You must make a roll to see if the cipher affects creatures attempting to cross. Okay. So just in case this thing comes, I want to have some sort of protection.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you're very easily able to do that. The fire kind of springs up, and it's kind of like this bluish green. If you've ever like lit copper on fire, done that in chemistry, that's kind of the glow that it makes. It actually provides more light in this room. But as each of you recite your portion of the shared memory, you can actually feel it. Your head change, your mind change, your memories change, and as each of you say this memory, it's gone. It's out of your head. You have no recollection of this shared memory anymore. But the Mander Witch is taking those mushrooms and she is mashing them up almost into a paste. And she looks at all of you and says, "One of you must eat this paste. Which one will it be?"
Well, I might have the most tolerance.
That is true.
And this is going to be the person who is basically rolling for the ritual. It is a magic ritual, so keep that in mind. You all can assist in some way to help, reduce the difficulty. I'm not going to tell you what the difficulty is yet, but that you can only do so much of that.
My using magic is not.
It would be using magic. You're muted.
I am trained in using magic.
There we go. All right, because I'm inept at that stuff. I can't do it.
All right, Floyd, you take the
Also, before I do that, can I eat my molasses taffy?
Yeah, what does that do?
Eat the length of taffy to ease your next action by 3 steps.
Oh, geez.
Oh my goodness, that's some nice taffy you got.
So I will eat this taffy. I've been saving up.
Oh, that looks sweet.
Granny Stone and I made this taffy, and so I eat that, and then I'll be ready to eat those mushrooms.
All right. Jeez. So you eat the paste, despite it coming from this these poisonous mushrooms. It tastes bitter, but it doesn't it doesn't affect you. You're not poisoned from it. Whatever the Mander Witch did kind of neutralized the poison. And the ritual begins to be cast. So the difficulty for the ritual is 7. Which means you would need to roll a 21 or above. But right. Floyd, you have the taffy, which lowers it by 3. Is that correct?
Yes, by 3 steps. Plus, I'm trained in using of magic.
Okay, so that lowers it by 4, so that moves it to 3. Because you also are using the full deck of the conjure cards, that lowers it by 1 more as well, down to 2. Okay. So if anybody else can assist to reduce it, or have a cipher that can help reduce it, we may be able to reduce it even further.
I could spend 2 intellect points to take it down another one.
Okay, so that's down to 1.
Hold on. Oh, wait, you're already trained in this, so I can't do any of my anecdote or friendly advice. Although, if he's already trained and I wanted to use that, would that kick it up to specialty rather than trained?
What does your thing do?
Okay, so friendly advice. When you give an ally a suggestion involving their next action, the character is trained in that action for 1 round. But he's already trained.
Sure. Yeah, it'll bump them up to specialize. Let's say
Well,
that.
that's down to 0 then.
So
That's down to 0 then.
That's
So
down to
then
0.
I sort of lean over to Floyd and I'm like, just a little hint. This stuff is gonna taste like the worst thing you've ever had, but that taffy ought to at least make it a little easier to swallow.
Oh, he's gonna hold his nose so it doesn't taste so bad.
Oh, it's going to be bitter.
Oh my God.
And because that only costs 1 intellect point because of my edge, that cost me nothing.
Yeah.
So
he's still gonna grimace.
yeah, it still tastes bitter, although you're kind of prepared for it. You with each bite and each swallow of this mushroom paste, you can see the wrappings that were kind of around the Mander Witch, these yellow leathery wrappings, start to disintegrate and fall to the ground. By the time you finish all of the paste, the wrappings have fallen off, and she is or appears to be completely free. However, as this happens, just as the last of this, these wrappings fall and basically disintegrate into dust around her, from the shaft that you came down, you all hear this roar of anger, and entering into the room is a large man. But saying he is a man is, what has been described before as a man who is no longer a man seems very appropriate here. He is roughly 9 feet tall, very large, and he's wrapped in what looks like leathers all over his body. The leathers are of varying color, but they are all dirty and worn, as if he has been wearing them for a very, very long time. As he enters the room, he looks at all of you and is just incensed of what has apparently just happened. You also see he's holding this very large, very sharp and dangerous looking whip. Floyd, the fire that you had created seems to glow and rise as he enters the room and nears, and he almost hesitates. But as he enters the room, he kind of starts to laugh, and the laugh echoes throughout the room. And he says, "What do you all expect to happen now?"
You're going to let us go, right?
Let you go?
I give Floyd an incredulous look, like, really?
Hey, Jim, I'm using my weapon oil on my machete, like I'm just getting ready to fight. So the weapon oil is I start blessing the weapon with it because I'm expecting to do battle here.
I crack my neck a little bit and get my fiddle ready.
A rifle and all.
As you are all doing this, you can hear the Mander Witch, who's, you're all still kind of within this circle. You hear the Mander Witch say, "Please be careful. Sciarn is very powerful, and I am still weak from the binding." And this thing, whose name is apparently Sciarn, again smiles and laughs at all of you as he sees you readying the weapons and your weapons, and he says, "We could fight and you will lose, or we could strike a deal."
No deals.
No deals. Everyone can strike a deal.
Let's hear him out first.
It won't be nothing good, none. Floyd, you know that.
Well, yeah, well, one second.
Ooh.
Time.
He says, "Look, I don't want you dead, or I don't want her dead. My employer does not want her dead. But if we fight, she and you will likely end up that way, or You all have an O, don't you? I can smell it on you. And with that, he takes this big sniff in the room. You have an O, but my employer can take care of that O, and more importantly, can give you power. Power beyond what you can imagine.
Oh my
That's
God.
what the Langleys can give you.
And who
We've
Well,
read the
cannot-
Bible.
I cannot believe you pulled
The-
that old
the-
chestnut out
first
of
of
your attic,
all-
because that is just like the worst.
Yeah.
hold
Oh,
on, hold on, hold
I'm
on.
activating. I'm putting my
Wait,
witch ward cipher
Wait,
into
wait,
effect as well.
wait. The Langleys, as in the ones that this town are named for, the Langleys, they're behind all this?
The Langley Coal and Navigation Company. Who do you
Oh,
think
we-
has hired me?
We knew they were behind this. It's okay.
Also, while he's doing his maniacal monologue, I'd like to slip our nice little witch friend some of the herbs and use my perfect remedy, which will give her back 1d6 of whatever it is that's ailing her.
Okay.
Mr. Scion, where our O was to find the Mander Witch, which apparently we've already done. So
We've
our
done.
O is effectively over. We were just to find her, not that was
Well,
it. I found her.
WE still has an O.
But your O won't mean anything if you're dead.
I think this gentleman needs a bit of a lesson. I'm sure the bunch of us can do it.
All right. Well, with that, he just sighs and says, "So be it." And we're going to roll initiative.
All right.
So this is, if you recall, this is a speed test, initiative test. The level that you have to beat, let me find it here, is a task 6 difficulty, so 18 or above. And recall the way that this works is, you've got this task difficulty of 6. If you can lower it, it's a speed test, so you can spend from your speed pool. I think some of you have skills where you're trained in that. You roll the d20. If you are equal to or greater than whatever the difficulty is for you, you go before Sciarn. If you don't, you go after him.
Okay.
You go ahead first.
All right. I'm trained in speed defense, so
Okay.
that'll knock that one difficulty off.
So 5.
And then I'm also going to spend 3 speed to pop my effort.
Okay.
So that'll get it down to 4.
Right. So you'll need to roll a 12.
And I believe that's as low as I can get it.
Okay.
I can.
All right. Asi's going to roll. What about the rest of you?
I've got the same thing as Aussie with initiative, and I'll spend some points. So.
Okay.
So, GM, I managed to by dint of not spending any, I got 4 XP. So I'm going to buy the advancement extra effort, which means I can do 2 effort if I want to.
Okay.
And that means I'll spend, I guess I've got initiative. So that's, what is the total? It was level 6?
Level 6, yes.
Yeah.
So I got initiative skill, so it gets it to 5.
Right.
And I'll spend 5 speed to knock it down to more to get it down to 3.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything else I could do.
I'll spend for my pool and my speed, but I can only bring it down to 15.
All right. That's fine.
So I'm going to try.
All of you go ahead and roll and let me know if you get above the difficulty that you got it down to or not.
Yes, I did.
Nope.
But it cost me a bunch of speed to do it.
All right. So Floyd did. WE did. Aussie did not. Ira did
I
not.
got a 19.
And
Oh my
Zoa
God, that's
did.
good. That's like minor good or something.
Minor
isn't it?
effect.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's a minor effect. Ira, what did you roll?
I rolled a 2.
Okay. Just want to make sure you didn't roll a 1.
Oh yeah, one's a bad.
So Zoa,
Okay.
you do get a. So you said you rolled a 17 or
19.
19. Okay, yeah. So I will let you do one of 2 things. You can either have a minor effect, which we can decide what that is, or you can also do 3 additional points of damage during the battle at some point. I'll let you carry it over to something in the future.
What kind of minor effects might come into play?
Good question. I mean, in a situation like this, maybe he gets delayed a little bit in the first round, um, or he has limited actions. There's really not a lot that you can take.
So
Well,
I think I'll
because
do additional 3 damage at some point during
okay.
this
Okay.
Yeah.
And because we also have
levy.
that impenetrable circle around
Mhm.
us, does that mean he has to do a little bit more work to get through it? So that,
Let's
It causes damage, it says, if he tries to
5
get
points
through
of
it, but I have to
damage,
do a
I think,
roll
just go through it.
for it to actually take effect.
just to take 5 points and are forced to flee from the circle for 1 round. You make a roll to see if the cipher affects the creature attempting to cross. Yeah, so but it lasts for burns for 1 hour. Okay, yeah, so yeah, well, you'd have to roll. It's not going to be an action for you to roll. You'll just have to roll if he tries to
Right.
pass through it. Go on.
It is a level 5, so that means I'd
Right.
have to roll a 15 or above, right?
No, you roll against his level, which is 6.
Oh, okay.
Because it's essentially a defense roll for him.
Okay.
And so you're going against his. Can somebody do me a favor and roll a d20 for the initiative for the Mander witch?
oh, sure.
Yeah.
Does she get any like what's
No.
her no? Okay.
Flat. Okay.
All
Just
right.
flat roll.
No.
Okay, no problem. All right. So Zoa, Floyd, or WE, you all go first. I will let you choose which one of you want to go first.
Well, let me see now.
I got my rifle
I'm
here.
just attacking him with the machete. Does anyone got anything flashier they want to do first before
I
I
got
try?
my
I-
rifle. I thought
I
I'd
would
just take a shot right between the eyes.
Yeah, the only thing I was thinking about doing was attempting to use my push on his. I can't use it on him because he's bigger than me, but on his whip to try to tangle that up a little bit to make that maybe more difficult. That's about the only thing I can do for defensively. Otherwise, I just have my hunting knife.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. So I apologize. His speed defense is 5, not 6. So that's what his defense rolls
Because
are.
he's so big, right? That makes
Yeah,
sense.
exactly. That's
He's easy-
exactly it.
He's an
He's
easier
huge.
target.
He's kind of slow. So go ahead, Floyd.
All right. So push. I just spend the intellect points,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
that happens.
Yeah, so it happens. So you spend the intellect points. You only lose 1 because you've got the edge. And you. So how are you kind of tangling up his whip?
Well, basically, because it looks like it's got multiple little pieces on it, and so I'm just
Mhm.
trying to push them all together. You know how you just take like a cat goes after yarn and just makes it one big blobby mess.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
that sounds good.
Yeah, so he you do that. It kind of like wraps around, even kind of entangles itself onto his onto one of his legs as well. So he's going to, if he wants to use it, he's going to have to spend his turn basically, undoing it. So that leaves Zoa or WE.
I'm just gonna fire my rifle right at him. I'm not sure how many shots I would just take. I would just be taking 1 shot, right?
Yeah, you'd just be taking 1 shot. It is a speed attack against 5.
Okay, the speed against 5. I got an edge. I'm going to I'm gonna leave that as is right now because I'm so it'd be 3, 6, 9. So I got to be 15 or higher.
Yep.
That is an 11. I miss.
All right. If you have experience, you can always, spend it to reroll.
Nope, I've used all my experience in life.
Okay. So the shot goes off, echoing through the mine shaft, and you can all hear the bullet miss and just kind of ricochet around the room. WE, your turn.
Well, my machete's now glowing nice from the weapon oil because it's been blessed. So there's a shimmer of beautiful blue light coming from it. And I'm kind of swinging like I'm going to do like a sort of winding up for a pitch. I'm going to take a nice thwack at him.
So in order to get close enough, you are going to have to move through the circle of fire. It's not going to affect you, but you will also not be protected by it any longer.
All right. Well, I got to try.
Okay, all right, that's fine. I'm
All right,
just letting you know.
All right. So he's got defensive
Of 5.
5.
Yep.
All right. I will.
And this is going to be a might test for you because you're swinging.
Yeah. Well, I can put 2 effort into it, but that's going to cost me 4. So that'll put me down to 5. So that's
Put you down
3.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because I brought my effort up to 2. So I got a 3 difficulty. I don't think there's anything else I can do to bring it down, is there? I don't have any weapon skill, unfortunately. I've just got
you
straight
do
might.
have the special ability Muscles of Iron, where for the next 10 minutes, all might-based action. Oh, other than attack rolls. Never mind.
Yeah,
Sorry.
see, I looked at that. So I'd actually need to have like some kind of combat skill. So I just
Right.
gotta. So it's going to be a difficulty of 3. I gotta try though.
Okay.
Gotta hit this sucker. 17.
Yep, that does it. And that adds an additional point of damage to it.
So now the oil adds 6 to a 4, so it's doing 10. So he's taking 11 from this.
11. Wow. Okay.
He's going to feel it.
He absolutely feels it. The machete goes right into some of the leather wrappings around him. He screams in pain, and you can see these leather wrappings start to get soaked with some type of blood. So that would be Zoa, Floyd, and W. You all have gone, correct? I didn't miss somebody.
Yep.
Awesome. So now it is his turn. He is going to W, since you're right there.
Yeah,
He is grabbing one of these leathers and basically trying to bind you with it.
Oh no, I'm not letting that happen.
So this is it's got you are allowed to defend against this. So go ahead and see, what is this? Let's say it's a speed defense.
All right. Well, I do have some training in that. So
And it will be against level 6.
All right. So that's down to 5. Let's see now. Yeah, I can spend the 5 speed to make another -2. So I'll get down to 3. I'm going to have to get some points back, though. All right. So I got to get a 9 or better.
All right.
19.
Nice. So you easily evade that.
Well, I know about easily. It took effort.
All right, that's a good point. And you also get a minor effect. What would you like that to be?
I think while he was trying to tangle me up with his whips, the combination of Floyd monkeying with them and me getting out of the way, they got tangled up with somebody in the mine here, and now he's stuck on it. His whips are now caught on something. He can't use it on anybody for a while until he frees himself.
Okay, that sounds good. So Asi, Ira, it is one of your turns. Whoever wants.
Right.
The Mander Witch will go last.
Okay. I get my fiddle out, tune up a little bit. And since he's definitely tied up and isn't going anywhere, I'm shaking the bones.
All
and
right.
yes, I start fiddling a tune that doesn't seem like I'd ever heard it before, but I kind of have a mystical sense of something about a devil in Georgia.
Oh God. That ain't been written yet. You can't do that one.
I'm dead. I get a little bit of leeway here.
Oh yeah, I guess.
I'm channeling a song too, Ozzy. It's called Not Like Us.
So he loses, and it doesn't say that he has to do a roll against it, I don't think.
No, I think this is automatic.
Yep,
if I remember right.
Yep. 2 might damage, 2 intellect.
All right. Okay. So he, screams in pain as you're doing this. You can see that your music is absolutely affecting him. Ira, it's to you.
I'm thinking my hedge magic. Um, does it seem to me like there's any chance I could rip the whip out of his hand? Or is
Um,
that a little too much? It says
normally,
I
you
can't
know what?
harm anyone.
Normally, I would say no, but because of everything that is happening to that, he's kind of losing his grip on it, between it getting tangled up and WE, maneuvering and having him, kind of it gets stuck somewhere. I would say that you could absolutely use your hedge magic to do that. But you're also going to have to roll for use magic, and in this case, I'd say it's probably going to be a demanding task, so a difficulty of 3. Which, if with use magic, if I remember, you have an inability, so that bumps it up to 4.
And it also says 1 intellect point.
Yes, but
Does
you
it
have
cost
a
me
edge
1?
in intellect, so I think,
Okay.
right?
So no, yeah, I do.
Yeah, so yeah, you've got an edge in intellect, so you can do it for free.
Let's see. Is there any way I can? What's effort? Can I put effort into it?
Effort is when you spend is how many times you can spend points from your pool to lower the difficulty. So
I
you could
see.
spend,
I see.
in this case, it would be intellect pool.
1.
So you'd have, if you spend 2 points, you can lower it by 1.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
Okay, so that will lower it down to 3, difficulty of passing difficulty of 3, so a 9 or
So that's
greater.
9.
Yep.
Let's do it. And I got a 13.
Nice. So what do you want to happen with the whip?
I want it to fly out of his hand and into mine.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Given everything that's been going on, yeah, the whip almost like you kind of reach out, yeah, almost like you have the force, and it just goes flying out of his hand into you catch it into yours. So to let you know, this is not a cipher. This is an artifact, which is more powerful. The thing to understand with artifacts is that there is a chance for them to, every time you use them, there's a chance for them to come due, which basically means the artifact goes dead, but something bad happens when that happens, like a magical explosion or something similar like that. So just keep that in mind. If you use it, there is always a chance. In this case, I will even tell you it is a 1 in 6 chance.
Oof.
Okay.
Oof.
I'm not sure that I would have intendedly used it.
You haven't
'Cause
used it
might
yet.
be-
Yeah, you haven't used it yet. I'm just letting you know in case that happens. So
might be devilish.
so Asi and Ira have gone. The Mander witch, she sees what everybody is doing, and she starts to kind of you hear her whispering under her breath, and WE
Hmm.
from somewhere, this stream of water comes up, washes over you, and you get 6 points back to whatever pool you want.
Oh,
The
my
wash-
goodness, that is a lifesaver because I was kind of getting low there. Okay.
And
Much
this,
obliged, madam. Much obliged.
and this gets us back to the top of the order. So Zoa, Floyd, or WE, whichever one of you would like to go first.
So, I've been like with my rifle behind the fire. So would I be considered in this thing's immediate range?
No, you're short range.
Okay, short
The
range.
only person in immediate range is WE.
WE. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna take another quick shot at him with my rifle. This time I am gonna use my edge, spend 2 points on my speed.
So
to
that'll
bring
knock
it
him down
down.
to level 4 difficulty.
Okay. So I got a 12 or above.
Yes.
All right. That is just a 12. Oh wow.
That's all you need. How many points does it do?
My rifle does 4 damage.
4 damage. You
I
want
got
to
those 3 additional points that I've been hiding.
Yeah.
you want to use those too?
Yeah.
Oh,
All right,
yeah. Let's
So
do it.
that's 7. He does have armor though, so okay. Your shot is, very true. Unlike the last one, which kind of bounced around the room a little bit. This one seems to kind of find a crack in the leather bindings around him, and you can see the bullet hit him, and he just screams out in pain. Floyd or WE, which one of you would like to go?
You next, Floyd. I'm not impressed with what I'm doing. I'm just
All right.
walking.
Well, I'm not going to be all that impressive either, but I have my hunting knife.
Yeah.
And I would like to attempt to sever this guy's hand if possible.
Sure.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So go ahead. You're going to have to step through the flames. It's not going to
Right.
affect
I'm
you,
willing
but
to take that risk.
so it is a level 5 difficulty because you're using a knife, which is a light weapon. It automatically eases the attack roll by 1, so it's down to
good.
4.
Okay. All right. And then let's see. I will. I do have my charm of strength, which gives me 2 to my might edge. So I'll spend a point to take it down to another level down.
Okay. So does that take it down 2 more or 1 more?
Well, it gives me adds 2 to your might edge.
Okay.
So that just means I spend less on my.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh,
I
yeah.
gotcha.
Might stuff costs you 2 less. All your
Right, might stuff costs me 2 less. All right, so
Gotcha.
that takes it down just another 1. So that gives me is that 3 then?
Yes.
Okay, so I need to get a 9.
9 or above.
Come on, and that gives 17.
Woo!
Nice.
That's bonus
So-
damage.
That does an extra point of damage. Your knife kind of sinks in. However, the leathers, they do provide some protection. But you do see you're able to, with that little bit extra of might, you're able to push it just that little bit deeper, and you kind of feel it go into whatever is underneath him. So that takes us to WE.
All right. Well, I'm gonna burn another 4 off my might pool and swing, and see if I can work from where Floyd has started there, and maybe we can get a nice big opening in this sucker. 17. So +1 again. I love you guys.
That
11.
that is enough. You defeat him. How does this look with your machete?
Well, okay. Floyd has started to pry like the leather apart with his knife so that I can see the bare skin finally, like this rotten, horrible bare skin wherever this guy's got. So there's a nice open space there. My mind mentally puts the little butcher's dotted line right across there. And I just swing it in, and the light trails from the machete as I go to the dotted line, and I just keep cutting and cutting and cutting. And the head just flies off with an astonished look on his face like he wasn't expecting that none.
And by the way, as you do that, I'm literally doing the devil's build up riff.
Yeah.
So his head goes flying. Asi is, in the crescendo of the music, and his body takes like 1 step forward, falls to its knees, and then just falls to the ground. But when it hits the ground, the entire mine shaft starts to shake. It feels like there's an earthquake going on. The ceiling starts to crack, rocks are falling, and the Mander witch just screams, "Run!" as she starts heading towards down the shaft.
Yeah.
Yep, we run.
We run.
You're all running down the shaft, dodging boulders. Cracks are opening in the walls, in the floor. You can see the entrance. The light starts to get bigger, grow bigger and bigger as you see the entrance to the mine shaft. However, you can hear the rocks behind you, the ceiling falling, dust is encompassing you, kind of making it difficult. But as you all reach the entrance, you kind of jump out, a plume of dust encompassing you all. When the dust fades, you find yourself back in the forest clearing where your fort was. Sitting in front of you is Rabbit Rabbit. He looks at all of you, and again, if a rabbit could smile, he is smiling at you and says, "Thank you. You have all fulfilled your oath." What are you all going to do?
What about
Not
Aussie? Does she
Yeah.
go now?
Yeah.
I'm sort of coughing a bit to get some of this dust out of my hair. Ugh. Ew.
Rabbit Rabbit says, "Aussie, you as my final gift to you, you have a choice.
Hmm?
You may live on as you are right now, as a ghost, or you can pass on to what's next. What would you like to do?"
Ah, all right. Well, I mean, it makes sense. But you know what? Not many can say that they get a third chance at life. Not many at all. And y'all, I turn to the rest of you. While I'm incredibly grateful having you guys bring me back that first time so I could live these last 20 years, I think this time the choice should be mine, don't you think?
I'm glad it finally is.
Yeah, it's all yours. It's up to you.
All right then. So at this one, I cross my arms over my chest, fiddle and bow in each hand. If you think you're gonna be getting rid of me for any good long time, you've got another thing coming, boys.
I
You're
wasn't
gonna be haunting
expecting
me all
that.
my life, aren't you?
Yeah, we're going to be haunted till we die. And then we'll be haunted after we die because we'll be
Mr.
dead
Rabbit
too.
Rabbit.
Well, I was kind of hoping for some silence for a little while, but
No, you're never going to. Yeah, it's going to be forever.
Too bad.
wonder what this whip here does.
Oh yeah, you got a nice whip there, Ira. That is.
Yeah, I'm a
That's
little
impressive.
afraid of it. It looks like the devil's whip or
Oh,
something.
no, I got
I wouldn't
chills
use
looking
that
at
if I
it.
were you. I would not use that if I were you.
Oh, by the way, is the Mander Witch with us by any chance, or is she?
No, she is not.
Okay.
Mr. Rabbit Rabbit, there's two unfortunate souls in there, a man named Elijah Turner and one of his fellow miners that were a prisoner of that Scion, what the hell he's calling himself, that devil. Are they all right? Are they
they
able
freed?
to pass on now?
He says yes. With the defeat of Scion, with your defeat of Scion, they have passed on. They are at rest now, and
good.
I can tell you they are appreciative of what you have done for them. And with that, Rabbit Rabbit starts to disappear. In his place, the rabbit-shaped rock that you remember from as children reappears, reforms in the center of the clearing. And around you, the fort that you built as children, also reappears as if it were pulled forward in time. It still has the toys and the knickknacks and everything else that you had brought to the fort from the past.
How'd you look at your walking stick?
Oh, it's still here. I like.
Would you-
Oh, I'm glad you survived all this time.
Those your toy soldiers, Floyd?
And as you all
You know,
sit
I don't
around-
remember when we first found this place.
No, I don't.
You-
but
you
I
don't.
know the place.
No, we must have been coming here.
Don't know how we got it, but we know it.
but you all absolutely remember this. And family, this is normally where our story would end. But WE,
Mhm.
where are you 6 months from now?
Oh, I got to keep traveling because that's what I do. But I mean, I do a circuit. I always come back here in case.
On the
these guys
trains,
need me.
correct?
Yeah, of course.
So 6 months from now,
Mhm.
as you all have either gone your separate ways or stayed together or whatever you have done, you're on a train, moving, going to wherever, on your circuit that you're going.
Yeah.
When suddenly the train stops.
Oh,
And normally
yeah.
this is a bad thing. This usually
Yeah.
means, an unexpected stop could mean a security check.
Oh,
So you
boy.
get a little apprehensive.
Oh,
You
yeah.
get a
I'm getting
little
ready to
concerned.
run if I have to.
Especially since you hear footsteps along the rocky path next to the rocks, or next to the rocky on the rocky train tracks. And as you're standing there waiting for a security bull to appear and, potentially having to fight, a man appears looking up into the train, a man that you recognize in a
Oh,
very
yeah.
pristine suit.
I was
He
wondering
says-
when I'd see you again next.
And he smiles and says, I believe you have an O that you owe me.
Yeah, I do honor them. What is it you want?
And family, that is where we are going to end.
Oh my God.
Ah,
That is nasty.
Well done. Great story.
Wonderful.
mhm. And nice little
Ah.
hook for a sequel too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, did we miss anything or?
No, so this story is very linear.
Yeah.
One might say railroady.
Yep.
But
Oh.
But
it's meant to be like that. This is an
Yeah, yeah.
introduction to the cipher system, to Old Gods of Appalachia. You basically, found everything. There are a couple other events that I could throw in there. Like you could meet some, depending on how you get to where you're going. So if you're going by the road, you'll meet some moonshiners. You may come across some other things. But you all hit the major events. I will tell you the graveyard, the grave for Elijah Turner. That is something that I added in. It is not part of the scenario. I kind of felt that it needed like some continuity between, because all the events are kind of separate. The Railroad Man was something I threw in as well because he's my favorite character from the
Right.
podcast. So he had to make an appearance. But no, you all hit everything. You all did extremely well. The fight with Sciar and the fight with the White Thing is supposed to be very difficult. I'm not going to say that you all got through it, scot-free, because you didn't, but I think you all did very well, learning how to use the system and working. But yeah, you did very well and found pretty much everything.
Like I said in the intro, it was like a fine oil machine. It was like we've known each other all our lives, our characters.
Yeah.
We were able to go through, and I can stop talking in this accent now, apparently.
No. Keep talking because we're not done yet. You got to stay there.
Yeah.
If the grave was something you added,
Yeah.
what about the magic journal that makes us
I added it in.
invisible to the ghost?
Oh, that's good.
So
I'll
we
do that.
wouldn't have really been able to get past the ghosts, would
You can you can convince the ghosts to let you by. You can also attack them. Technically, Aussie is the only one who is supposed to be able to see them, but I figured because you have the book that also allows you to see them. So there are ways to still get around them.
I was really that close to using one of my ciphers. I can
Oh,
turn
which
into a
one?
bear.
Oh, that would have worked.
I
Could have
used both
totally
last
done that.
ciphers.
I was waiting for my turn to come around,
Yeah.
and then I was just going to leap out as a bear and attack the guy.
Yeah.
But see, I've also got a red clay doll, which
Ooh.
if you are injured, even seriously injured, and I pull that out and slam it down next to you, you're completely healed.
Oh, nice.
So I wanted to make sure that
Those
if
those
somebody
ciphers
was
make a big deal
injured-
in this game.
Yeah.
Oh,
do.
they do.
I mean, that one cipher that I had on the character sheet is +6 damage.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
That's
wow.
crazy. That's
And-
nuts.
And seriously, like being able to lean on things where you've got an edge, like me being able to do shake the bones as much as I want because it doesn't
Wow.
cost me anything.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's-
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you, when you were doing it against him, it does 2 points of intellect, 2 points of might. I was ruling that the might was his armor did go against the might, so you were only doing 2 points of damage to him total. But
You're shaking
yeah,
his
it's-
brains up, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
In retrospect, I think I should have, not thinking about being with the ranged weapon that I had, I should have tossed that S-Affinity bag to either WE or Floyd, because they were in that immediate range, and they would have been causing automatically 1 point of damage every round.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
And
Mm,
right, and just to clarify,
I'm
like
thinking that.
especially for abilities that you think would require a roll, it would say
Yes.
and say, okay, just making sure because I think we went through a roll last time in the first episode with that, but when I looked at it again, like wait, it doesn't mention a roll at all.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. It doesn't now. I mean, I think like with ciphers and some abilities, if you are going to if you're attacking, then sometimes it may require a roll, even though it doesn't say that. In this particular case, I you can rule either way. If you were doing like a ton of damage, then I would have definitely made you roll. But in this particular case, it's relatively not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So yeah.
what would have happened if we had sided with
Oh,
taking his
If you
deal?
had sided with,
Oh.
yeah, you absolutely
No.
can. If you had sided with Sciarn, you would have still fought, but you would have been fighting against the Mander, the Mander Witch, as
Oh.
well as anybody else who decided not to side with Sciarn.
Yeah, because that could have split the party right there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If you do that and you win, actually, regardless of whether you win or lose, Aussie does not get a choice. Aussie disappears at the end.
Oh.
What the way that it's very interesting too. The because this is I think it's because this is a intro scenario. It does not want you to essentially die in this last or many of you to die in the last
Right.
battle, and so in both cases, whatever side that you side with, you're going to get transported back to the clearing. So there's always that. In the case if you're sided with the Mander Witch, she basically tells you to run and then like transports you back. If you sided with Sciarn, he basically he uses his wrappings to bind you to the clearing, so you basically disappear and reappear there.
Actually, for curiosity's sake, what exactly is he?
This is the description. Before Sciarn became what he is now, he was just a man. But that was long ago, and now he wears the decaying years like skins, each one a new layer over what was once human. His body is bulked up like a pile of leathers, thick and slow-moving, but powerful all the same. So he's basically he's
Like
not a
a
ghost.
lich.
He's kind of like, yeah, I think that would probably be a good description. He's kind of like a lich. But the interesting thing too is he basically just goes around and gets hired by whoever to do things, and he was hired by Langley Cole to capture the Mander Witch. You can actually convince him to change sides if you wanted
Really?
to go down that route.
Oh.
You can actually work somehow if you can do it. You can actually convince both he and the Mander Witch to work together as well. I think the flaw in him is he's basically bored, and so whatever he gets hired to do, he's going to go do.
Oh man, wonder how we convinced him.
So as long as you can keep it interesting, he'll stick around. Interesting.
Well, that sort of opens up the whole story to a lot of possibilities. I like that.
Yep.
That is cool.
Our players included Thomas Bailey, Jen Obertaz, Joe Bardalis, Troy Lehman, and myself with Tyler Hudak as the Game Master. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. Support for the show is provided by our patrons, who are listed in the closing credits. If you would like to show us your appreciation, please visit our Patreon page, or you can use the thanks button just below the screen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Thom, Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the shadowy lore and frightening world of the old gods of Appalachia. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.